Hello, guys. Dividend Enjoyer here, and as I'm sure you've heard, Apple had a really good day today on its $600 billion pledge with the to spend in America. This is definitely going to be good for Apple, and as an Apple investor, I have to say I'm pretty stoked on this. I think that long term the growth is there. I really think that Apple is a behemoth. I was saying this before, 210 or below. I thought that Apple was a good price. And I was saying that when Apple was 200. I kind of saw that Apple was really being undervalued and underappreciated because they have such a huge cash stockpile and they're buying back shares. So, the shares are worth more as a percentage of the market cap now. They continue to bring in more cash. They continue to grow their EPS. And when they have that much cash on the sideline, they're probably either thinking of a big project, which I did not expect this. Okay, guys, I was expecting that we were going to be getting like a new wearable or a new device or something like that. And I was looking at it more as like, it could also not happen. I mean, they could just be out of growth and that could be the thing. But I was really looking at it and I was like, man, Apple is cheap right here. At 200, it was like dirt cheap. But I thought 210 or below, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But at 210 or below, I was looking at it and I was kind of saying to myself, like, man, this is a steal. Like, this is something where I feel very confident that this is probably undervalued at 210 or below. And that was kind of my opinion on it, because I don't know how long you guys have been like investing or involved in investing, but as far back as I can remember, the gold standard of stocks has been Apple. And it's only been recently that we've really heard that growth has been a concern for them, and that it was, there's a limit to how much they can grow. And I even felt that way too. I had sold out of the stock at 264, and I actually made a video about it, and I kind of talked about it at length. It's kind of the reason why I stick with the same stocks and I don't really trade anything, because I really want to hold something out for the long run. I mean, I'm glad I didn't hold Apple for the long run, but I think whatever I bought also had dropped. Let's say it was Salesforce. Apple really has been historically like, the top stock. It was always, you would hear people all the time say like, don't buy the S&P, just buy Apple, or just buy Apple and then outperform the S&P every single year. And that worked like every single year until, it didn't work for 1 year. But I think Apple's kind of turning it around again. I mean, they are really an amazing, just unbelievable company. And I think that they have been really underestimated. And I think that Wall Street really has been so short-sighted about them and just dismissive about them. And they really can't dismiss them anymore, because it was always, you would always hear people chirping on CNBC saying that, Apple doesn't have any growth. So what are they going to say now? Apple has growth now. The growth is there. Like, it's literally like, there's nothing else you can say. All they do. And I am an Apple investor, but Apple provides an amazing product that people love, and they do it better than anybody else. The design is like unmatched. The quality is unmatched. Apple is just a very intelligent, powerful company. So I'm going to look at Apple differently than I'm going to be looking at like Prologis. Prologis is a very like simple company. Yes, they're like influential, but obviously not in the same ways. Like, Apple has a lot of sway, and they have a lot of very knowledgeable people in that industry. A lot of times the Wall Street people like to act like they know more because they know the financials and they can kind of think about the growth in a certain way. But when you have actual like experts in the industry, they're probably, going to be making the correct decisions about AI. Like, I kind of trust Tim Cook to make an intelligent opinion on AI more than I would trust any financial analyst or anyone like that. Tim Cook is on the level of Zuckerberg. He's on the level of Bezos. He's on that level. He's been here for a very long time. I think people forget that. He knows how to make the correct decisions for Apple. And Apple has been very successful under Tim Cook's leadership. So I really trust, this is just a moment where this stock looks way too cheap. There are way too many doubters. And historically, that's the time when you want to buy into Apple. You don't want to buy when everything's going well all the time and it's sunshine and rainbows. You have to really trust the captain to steer the ship, and I trust Tim Cook. I think that Tim Cook is that guy 100%. I think that there's no denying that Tim Cook has just been very efficient, very smart. I think he's navigated this very well because he's not going to get those same tariffs. He's basically committed a lot of money to something that's going to solve a problem that a lot of the Wall Street people have had, which is growth, and there's going to be a lot of synergies long term for this. So it's not like he's completely taking an L here, and then he's not having to worry about the tariffs that all of his competitors are worrying about. So, I think that this is a really good day for Apple. I think that this is also going to help. It will bring some jobs here, so that is a win. But I also don't know how I feel about a president kind of like making, a company have to do that. I don't know. That kind of feels a little weird to me, but that's not finance related. But I still think it was a brilliant move by Tim Cook, and I think that it's actually a pretty good thing. It's kind of a win-win. Like there's more jobs that are here in the US, and then it looks to me like this is something that Apple's been wanting to roll out. Maybe they wanted to roll this out anyways, but then maybe they convinced the administration that it was like a really cool thing. Maybe they didn't want to do it. I don't know. But I think it's going to be good. I think that it's going to dismiss the one criticism that a lot of analysts have had about Apple. I also just trust Tim Cook for the long term. I don't think any of us really know who's going to win this AI race yet, which I kind of want to make a video just talking about that and kind of giving my opinion on kind of everybody involved. And I think that anyone historically that's counted Apple out has been proven very wrong. I think that Apple is a wonderful business. I think it's going to continue to be a wonderful business. I really believe in Tim Cook's leadership, and I think that they have a role to play in AI. And I think their role is that they're going to build out all the infrastructure first and then decide if they either want to develop their own or buy someone else's and then hook it up to their juice, because if they have a bunch of electrical things hooked up, they can just plug it into a company that they buy as AI. So I think they're going to do M&A for AI and kind of try and find like a scrappy team maybe. This is all speculation too. This is a guy in a basement somewhere in the Midwest talking about stocks. So that's where you're at. Anyways, yeah, I really like Apple still. I think that it's going to continue to rise. I think we're going to hit the 52-week high, but again, not financial advice. But I don't know. I think that Apple's really silenced their critics because the only thing that they ever were saying when they were chirping Apple, and they were chirping the highest quality, and this is a common thing too. Like I don't know if you guys are like aware of this analogy. But there's always someone who's calling for the end of the world. There's always going to be someone who's calling for the next crash. We're gonna we're gonna always bring Ray Dalio out whenever the market goes down, and then he's gonna talk about the deficit. There's always going to be someone who counts Apple out, and Apple always rises to the occasion. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievably high quality stock. And the growth is there now. I think that they have unbelievable leadership, unbelievable management. I think that the culture is extremely important and very valuable. I think that the way that the product feels is superior. I think that the product is superior. Quite frankly, I think that the UI is better. I think that Apple has done a better job marketing itself as a distinct, essential product. I don't know. I really think that Apple's a wonderful company, and I'm happy to own it. And I'm really happy with days like today where I get to see the gains go up. But I don't think I'm going to be buying any more Apple now. I think it's too expensive. I think that I got in when it was cheap. I think that I got a very good price on it, and yeah, I don't think I I think Apple could be my best performing stock overall, just because I got in for so cheap in retrospect. Like, I still actually think it's actually very cheap right now. If you're looking long term, just for what you're getting in terms of like, you also have to value things kind of intrinsically, like the actual brand that you're getting is extremely valuable. The user ecosystem that it has is extremely valuable. They're very sticky consumer base. Not a lot of people who get into an Apple product ever want to go to something else. Apple's just quality, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. Apple's an unbelievable company, and I'm happy to be an investor. Thank you guys for watching my video so much. I really appreciate you guys who stick around to the end. Please hit the subscribe button if you've made it this far, and thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye.